Most people think reading others is some kind of mysterious gift that only psychologists and FBI profilers possess. They imagine you need years of training, special intuition, or maybe even supernatural powers to truly understand what someone is thinking or feeling just by looking at them. Well, I'm about to completely shatter that myth. Today, I'm going to prove to you that you can master the fundamental basics of reading people in under 10 minutes, using nothing more than simple stick figures. Yes, you heard that right, stick figures. By the end of this video, you'll have a practical system that works in real-world situations, whether you're in a job interview, on a first date, or trying to figure out if your teenager is actually telling you the truth about where they were last night. Let me start with something that might surprise you. When two people meet for the first time, within the first 3 seconds, literally 3 seconds, they've already formed dozens of unconscious judgments about each other. Confidence level, trustworthiness, social status, even whether they like each other or not. Now, here's what's fascinating. Most of this instant assessment isn't happening through words. In fact, words play a surprisingly small role in how we actually communicate with each other. Let me introduce you to what I call the reading people pyramid. This is based on decades of research by psychologists like Albert Mehrabian, and it's going to change how you think about human communication forever. At the base of the pyramid, the biggest chunk, is body language. This accounts for roughly 60% of all human communication. Your posture, your gestures, how you position yourself in space, whether your arms are crossed or open. All of this is constantly broadcasting information about your internal state. The middle section is vocal tone, about 30%. This isn't what you're saying, but how you're saying it. The pace, the pitch, the energy level, those little pauses and hesitations. Your voice carries emotional information that often contradicts your actual words. And at the very top, the actual words themselves, only about 10% of communication. Think about that for a moment. When someone says, "I'm fine," but their shoulders are slumped, their voice is flat, and they won't make eye contact. Which message are you really receiving? Now, let me bust some common myths that keep people from developing this skill. Myth number 1. You have to be naturally intuitive. Completely false. Reading people is a learnable skill set, just like driving a car or cooking a meal. It's based on observable patterns, not mystical intuition. Myth number 2. It takes years to get good at this. Wrong again. While mastery takes time, you can start seeing dramatic improvements in your accuracy within days of learning the basic principles. Myth number 3. Some people are just impossible to read. Not true. Everyone communicates non-verbally. Some people are more controlled or aware of their signals, but everyone leaks information through their body language and vocal patterns. Now let's get to the practical stuff. I'm going to teach you what I call the 3-second scan system. This is a rapid assessment technique that you can use in any social situation to quickly gauge someone's emotional state, confidence level, and openness to interaction. The beauty of this system is that it's fast, it's subtle, and it works whether you're meeting someone for the first time or checking in on someone you've known for years. Here's how it works. When you encounter someone, you're going to do 3 quick checks in sequence. Huckle. Think of it like a mental checklist that takes about 3 seconds to complete. Check number 1, posture assessment. First, you're looking at their overall posture and positioning. This tells you about their confidence level and their openness to interaction. Confident, open posture looks like this: shoulders back, chest open, head up, feet planted firmly. They're taking up their natural space without apologizing for it. Their body is saying, "I belong here, I'm comfortable with myself." Closed or defensive posture is the opposite. Shoulders rolled forward, arms crossed or held close to the body, head down or tilted away, weight shifted to one foot like they're ready to leave. This body is saying, "I'm protecting myself," or "I don't want to be here." But here's a crucial point. Closed posture doesn't always mean the person is unfriendly or hostile. They might be cold, tired, dealing with personal stress, or just naturally more reserved. Don't jump to negative conclusions. Instead, use this information to adjust your approach. Check number 2, eye contact patterns. Next, you're observing their eye contact behavior. Eyes really are windows into someone's internal state, but not in the mystical way people often think. Confident eye contact is steady, but not staring. They look at you when you're speaking, look away naturally when they're thinking, and return their gaze when they're responding. It feels comfortable and reciprocal. Nervous or uncomfortable eye contact shows up in several ways. Darting eyes that can't settle anywhere, looking down frequently, or the opposite extreme, staring too intensely because they're trying to force confidence they don't feel. Deceptive eye contact has its own pattern. Often too much eye contact during the lie itself, because they've heard that liars look away, followed by relief looks away immediately after. It's the overcompensation that gives it away. Check number 3, micro-expression. Monitoring. Finally, you're watching for micro-expressions. Those tiny, involuntary facial expressions that leak true emotions before someone can control them. The most important ones to watch for are around the eyes and mouth. Genuine happiness creates what researchers call Duchenne markers. The eyes crinkle slightly at the corners. Fake smiles only involve the mouth. Stress or discomfort often shows up as brief tension in the jaw, a quick tightening around the eyes, or fleeting expressions that don't match the person's words. Confusion or disagreement might flash across someone's face as a quick furrow of the brow or a slight head tilt, even if they verbally agree with what you're saying. Now, here's the critical part that most people get wrong. You're not looking for any single signal. You're looking for clusters of signals that tell a consistent story. For example, if someone has closed posture but steady eye contact and relaxed facial expressions, they might just be cold or tired, not unfriendly. But if you see closed posture, plus darting eyes, plus tension in the jaw, that's a cluster that suggests discomfort or stress. Let me give you a real-world example of how this works. Imagine you're in a meeting and you suggest a new idea. You scan the room using your 3-second system. Person A. Open posture, steady eye contact, slight forward lean. Their micro-expressions show genuine interest. Raised eyebrows, slight smile. This cluster says enthusiastic, engaged and interested. Person B. Closed posture, looking down frequently, tight jaw. When they do look up, there's a brief flash of what looks like disagreement before they compose their expression. This cluster says skeptical. Skeptical or opposed, but not expressing it. Person C. Open posture, but fidgety movements, eye contact that's a bit too intense, forced smile that doesn't reach their eyes. This cluster suggests nervous, trying to appear supportive but actually nervous or uncertain. With this information, you can adjust your approach in real time. You might ask Person B directly for their thoughts, acknowledge Person C's concerns, and build on Person A's enthusiasm. All right, now it's time to put this into practice. Knowledge without application is just entertainment, and I want this to actually improve your life. Here's your practice assignment for this week. I want you to use the 3-second scan system on 3 different people in 3 different contexts. Don't make it weird. You're not staring at people or analyzing them like specimens. You're simply becoming more observant of information that's already there. Context 1. Use it with someone you interact with regularly. a coworker, family member, or friend. See if you notice anything new about their typical patterns, or if you can pick up on their mood more quickly than usual. Context 2. Try it in a service interaction. Ordering coffee, checking out at a store, talking to a receptionist. These brief interactions are perfect for practicing because there's no pressure, and you can quickly see if your read matches the person's verbal responses. Context 3. Use it in a social situation where you're meeting someone new or reconnecting with someone you haven't seen in a while. This is where the system really shines, because first impressions and reconnections involve a lot of nonverbal communication. For each interaction, mentally note what you observed in each of the 3 categories: posture, eye contact, and micro-expressions. Then notice how accurate your initial read was as the interaction continued. Keep a simple mental tally. You don't need to write anything down. Just notice. Did the person's behavior match what your 3-second scan suggested? Were there any surprises? What patterns are you starting to notice? Remember, you're building a skill here. Like any skill, it improves with practice. Don't expect to be perfect immediately, and don't overthink it. The goal is to become more naturally observant, not to turn into some kind of human lie detector. One important ethical note: use this skill to connect better with people, not to manipulate them. The goal is understanding and empathy, not advantage or control. When you understand someone better, you can communicate more effectively, offer appropriate support, and build stronger relationships. Next week, excited, we're diving deeper into one of the most requested topics from my audience: the secrets of confident versus insecure body language. I'm going to show you the subtle differences that separate people who command respect from those who get overlooked, and more importantly, how to shift your own body language to project the confidence you want to feel. We'll cover the power poses that actually work, the common mistakes that make you look less confident than you are, and the one simple adjustment that can change how people respond to you in any situation. If you found this helpful, hit that like button. It really does help the algorithm show this content to people who need it. Subscribe if you want to become genuinely skilled at understanding human behavior, and I'll see you next week. Until then, practice your 3-second scan, and remember, reading people isn't about having special powers. It's about paying attention to the information that's already there.